Welcome, everyone. Nice to be with you all again. So I call this meditation we're doing breath awareness meditation. The proper name in Pali is Anapanasati. Sati means awareness, and Anapana means breath. So breath awareness meditation. One of the things I want to say about concentration meditation is that it's a meditation where we focus on a meditative object to the exclusion of everything else in our experience or perception. And that doesn't mean that we're trying to suppress thoughts or body pain or environmental noise. We're simply prioritizing the meditative object over all the rest of that information. So it's a matter of just holding on to that one meditative object to the exclusion of all else. And one of the great things about concentration meditation is that it really helps us develop an ability to be open, to be direct, and to be into contact with the unity of our awareness. And we're bringing that unity of awareness to the one object, again, to the exclusion of all else. So it allows our thoughts to quiet. It allows our interior activity to also relax, and invites a spacious serenity into our consciousness. As you probably know, concentration meditation, particularly jhana, which is absorption concentration, it's the third level of concentration. The first level is momentary concentration, meaning where is your awareness in this moment? And as we stay with the meditative object for 10 to 15 minutes without serious interruption, then we would classify that as access concentration, which also can have a lot of qualities we call jhana factors, things like joy and bliss that can come into our meditation and really help us stay focused on the meditation. In the suttas, the talks the Buddha gave, he referenced jhana and the importance of jhana in a large percentage of the suttas. And I've been told by some of the scholars that it's been as much as 60 to 80% of the suttas jhana is mentioned. I don't know if that's actually accurate myself, but just to say it's stressed in Buddhism is a fair statement. And the importance of any kind of concentration meditation is purification of mind. And we're purifying the mind every time we return back to the meditative object. So when we find ourselves thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow and making a little list of our daily activities, and we come back to the breath, there's a purification of mind in that action because you're prioritizing the breath, being with the breath over everything else. And also when we stay and we're sustained being with the breath, that also develops purification of mind because we're steeping ourselves in that contact, in that unity of awareness and the contact with our object. So two of the things I want to talk about today, I want to talk about continuity. And continuity really means that we're staying with the object. And it's important to develop that skill in the meditation itself, to stay with the breath. And when I say be with the breath, it's just like we're being with each other right now. We're not really making a lot of effort. We're not really doing a lot. We're simply being present to each other, making contact. And that's what we're doing with the breath, is we're just being with the breath, making contact. And that develops the intimacy. And the continuity I'm speaking of, that's really a question of what do you do when you're off the cushion? Because we can be with our breath really at any time. And a lot of folks look at being with the breath that it's like an on or off switch. Either you're fully present with the breath or you're not. And really it's more like a dimmer switch, meaning we can be with the breath, 10% of our awareness can be in contact with the breath, or it can be more. But the point is we can establish contact with the breath when we're moving through our daily life, particularly things like when we're waiting in line somewhere. We don't have a lot of demands on us. That's a time we can settle and just make contact with the breath. And that continuity really helps when we then return back to the meditation cushion or chair, the fact that we've developed a continuity off the cushion, we're creating pathways, we're creating commitment to being with the breath. So it's easier to be with the breath in meditation. So that's something that's really worth developing and looking at. The other topic I want to talk about today is effort. We normally look at effort in two ways. One, we have a proactive effort, which is really our doing. And that's where we come back to the breath again and again. That's really the doing part of this practice. So that's something to just pay attention to. When you're with the breath, there is a certain amount of effort in returning. But once you've returned and once you're established on the breath, then it's a time you can invite what we call the receptive effort. And that's an effort where you're relaxing, you're letting the breath, you're letting the contact with the breath really take its own, have its own life, have its own activity. We become more, I'm going to say, passive observers. And again, this is when we're established on the breath. So this would be when you're on the breath for 10 to 15 minutes without serious interruption. We would consider that to be established. And that's when you would try and just relax your effort a little bit. And you'll know if it's the appropriate time because you'll feel a kind of a depth, almost a pulling of your awareness with the breath or contact with the breath. It'll just deepen on its own. And if we've done it too early, what happens is we typically will lose the breath. Our awareness will be off on some other topic or object. And that's a sign, okay, we weren't quite concentrated enough to bring in that much receptive effort. So it's something that we can play with, we can learn about in our meditation. But I want to bring that up. So again, if you're finding at home or here today that you're having good contact with the breath, see what it's like to just relax your effort a bit. And I liken it to when we start off with this practice, it's more like we're in a boat with oars and we're having to row to move the boat. But after a while, we realize, wait a minute, there's a sail here. And so we can open up the sail and then that can catch the wind. And that's really a matter of the letting go and letting the universal effort, I might call it, come in and join our effort. So that's where the receptive effort becomes really helpful and really important. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and settle in and do some meditation. So again, this practice is really simple. It's a matter of breathing, which we're already doing. And then we're knowing that we're breathing in this region we call the Anapana region, the breath region. So anywhere from the nostrils, including the upper lip, is a fine territory to pay attention to. It can also be a little bit inside the nostrils if it just is a little easier to make contact. I'm going to briefly go through some posture instructions just so you have a little better idea of how your body can be positioned for optimal meditation. And then we'll meditate for about 25 minutes. So we start off with ensuring that our feet are flat on the ground, feeling the support of the building we're in and our contact with that building. And see if you can notice the support of the earth beneath that building, the earth supporting each of us right now together. They're being very well held. We normally want our knees to be lower than our hips, which gives the right tilt to our pelvis. And we can rock a little bit to the left and right, ensuring that we're centered and balanced in our seat. Want the hands to be on the upper thighs or in your lap. If you have them too low on your legs or on your knees, that can create some shoulder and neck strain. So I want to keep them high. And relax your shoulders. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. So make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. I like to imagine my shoulder blades melting down my back towards the floor. And this gives us a nice open chest for breathing. We want our breathing to be natural. We don't need to do an extended breath or a short breath. Just let your breath take care of itself. We can hold tension in our neck. So maybe you want to move your head side to side or in circles just to make sure that your neck is relaxed and your head is well positioned in the center of your neck. The face should be on a flat plane perpendicular to the floor. We want to have a very slight tilt down. So we tuck our chin in just a little, and that helps to slow down the thoughts and let us rest more comfortably. If our chin would be it'd be up, that does promote thinking and daydreaming. If it's too far down, that's going to promote sluggishness and sleep. We also can hold a lot of tension in our jaw. So if you wish, you can slide your jaw from side to side, just making sure the muscles there are nice and relaxed, and there's a spaciousness in the joint where the jaw meets the skull. You can rest your tongue against your upper palate behind the front teeth, if that's comfortable to do. If it's not, don't worry. And really let your face relax. Another place we hold tension is in our faces. So just see if those muscles can relax a little bit more. And we're sitting eyes closed, so we can rest our eyes in their sockets. There's no need to do anything with your vision or your eyes in this meditation. And as I mentioned, just breathe naturally. And you're just being with the breath, just making contact. Take some deep belly breaths if you wish right now to just ground yourself to this moment. Rest your awareness on the breath. We don't need to follow the breath away from the body or into the body. Just maintain your awareness on the breath to the exclusion of everything else in your perception or experience. As your mind and body settle with your contact with the breath, your mind will begin to unify, settle, and relax. If your awareness has wandered from being with the breath, gently return it without criticism or self-judgment. If you feel you have good contact with the breath, try relaxing your effort just a little. In these last few moments before I ring the bell, see if you can stay really close to your breath with no separation.